Happy Juneteenth from the Libra Man. A lot of people yesterday when I was at work were saying, Juneteenth? What is Juneteenth? You know, we heard of it, but we really don't have an understanding of what Juneteenth is about. So how could we possibly celebrate a holiday when we don't know why we're celebrating? So I said, I got something for that. Today, I'm going to read the story and articles that I found about the history of Juneteenth and why we celebrate it. Let's get started. Juneteenth, an annual commemoration of the end of slavery in the United States after the Civil War, has been celebrated by African Americans since the late 1800s. Didn't just start. A lot of people think it just started. It didn't just start. It was been celebrated since the 1880s. President Biden signed legislation in 2021 that made Juneteenth, which falls on June 19th, a federal holiday. Just because it became a federal holiday, it's been celebrated. After interest in the day was renewed during the summer of 2020 and the nationwide protests that followed the police killings of Black Americans, including George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, there has been a noticeable increase in Juneteenth celebrations across the United States over the past few years. So those killings sparked people to start celebrating it again like they were before. How did Juneteenth begin? On June 19, 1865, 2 months after the Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox, Virginia, Gordon Granger, a Union general, arrived into Galveston, Texas, to inform enslaved African Americans of their freedom and that the Civil War had ended. General Granger's announcement put into effect the Emancipation Proclamation, which had been issued nearly 2.5 years earlier on January 1st, 1863, by President Abraham Lincoln. The holiday has also been called Juneteenth Independence Day, Freedom Day, or Emancipation Day. So Juneteenth was about the freedom of slaves in 1863. The final slaves in Galveston, Texas. How is it celebrated? Early celebrations involved prayer and family gatherings, and later included annual pilgrimages to Galveston by former enslaved people and their families, according to Juneteenth.com. Imagine that, people that have been slaves participating in that celebration of freedom. In 1872, a group of African American ministers and businessmen in Houston purchased 10 acres of land and created Emancipation Park, which was intended to hold the city's annual Juneteenth celebration. Today, while some celebrations take place among families in backyards where food is an integral element, some cities like Atlanta and Washington hold larger events, including parades and festivals with residents, local businessmen, and more. People are getting really involved in this Juneteenth event, and it's good to acknowledge that. While celebrations in 2020 and 2021 were largely subdued by the coronavirus pandemic, some cities ramped up their plans last year and plan to have bigger celebrations this year. Galveston has remained a busy site for Juneteenth events over the years, said Douglas Matthews, who has helped coordinate them for more than 2 decades. After dedicating a 5,000 square foot mural in 2021, in 2023, Galveston will celebrate the holiday with a banquet, a scholarship ball, and a festival. Wow. Organizers in Atlanta will hold a parade and music festival at Centennial Olympic Park, and similar events are scheduled in Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. So now we have a clear understanding what today is. Today is Juneteenth, the freedom of slaves from 1863's final slaves in Galveston, Texas, that happened on June 19th, 1863. The observance of Juneteenth is about the journey and achievement of African Americans from a horrific period of sanctioned enslavement to the pinnacle of human endeavors. It is a story of pride, resilience, and determination that will always be of historical and spiritual importance, as it serves us well to understand that together we can overcome all obstacles in our path. Anything we go through today, we can overcome. The slaves went through things that we can only imagine. That's why our history is so important. That's why before I get up here and start talking about historical things like holidays and things like that, I don't try to freestyle it. I go get the research so I can talk about what is factual, not what I think. If you like anything I said in this video today, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Find a way today to celebrate Juneteenth. Any events in your area, please try to attend them and go to them, because that's what I'm going to do. Libra Man is out. Happy Juneteenth.